You entrusted your loved one's care to a nursing home, expecting compassion and quality treatment. Instead, they suffered from neglect, abuse, bed sores, falls, or medication errors that could have been prevented. I'm Chris Brown from Geiger Legal Group. Our elderly deserve dignity and proper care, not negligence that causes pain and suffering. When nursing homes fail in their duty of care, we fight to hold them accountable. Your loved one's suffering matters. We'll stand up for those who can't stand up for themselves.
Call Geiger Legal Group at 833-HELP-GLG and let us tell your story today.
You snoozed twice this morning, spilled your coffee once, and you've already blamed last night's referee for your morning mood.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It's time to embrace the chaos and step into the madness.
Bro, you about to see a side of me you didn't even know existed.
Featuring guests who are over-caffeinated and less reasonable than the average person.
Man, I think it's just ridiculous.
Come on, man. Are you serious? Ugh.
Fans, where else would you rather be than right here, right now? Welcome to the show.
So buckle up. It's time for hot takes and hot mics. This is the Morning Rant, where the only thing more unpredictable is days before his third cup of coffee.
I just felt like running.
On WPGY, the Sports Pig.
Ole, 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 ole. There we go, man. It is World Cup time. Hey, welcome to a Wingin' It Wednesday right here on the Morning Rant. Thanks for being with us. Dave Garner alongside the refrigerator mover, John Davis. Looking good right here, partner, on a Wednesday, man. Wingin' It Wednesday presented by your friends at the pub in LJ. $1 wings all day long until midnight tonight. So if you're in North Georgia, up around LJ, get on over and see our friends at the pub. John, man, how you doing on a Wednesday?
Doing great, man. I'm looking forward to having some lunch with you and meeting some new potential advisors.
Yeah, there we go, man.
Or advertisers.
There we go.
No, it's good.
Yeah, we like to think of our advertisers as partners. Again, that's kind of our philosophy here. And speaking of, we've got a lot of great ones that have come on board with us here over these first few months. We've got a lot of announcements to make, and we'll do some of those on Friday about the show. And we've kind of been teasing that a little bit. But some very exciting news. And again, a lot of that's going to happen on Friday. And speaking of partners, you and I have a good one in Bradley's. Our friend John Capone, the owner of Bradley's down off of Lower Roswell Road there in East Cobb. We're going to be back there on Friday for the Friday Happy Hour or Friday Happy Hours edition of the Morning Rant this week, and looking forward to catching up with John. But man, a lot of things going on, particularly with the jersey auction for charity. Smoking different meats. I mean, all different kinds of foods. Yeah. It's Father's Day weekend, so it's great timing, I think, for the event. And so we're looking forward to hopefully seeing everyone there on Friday.
Yeah, we're kicking it off. John's been around the owner, I believe, 19 years. We met him at a little East Cobb festival and became friends ever since. But I think the facility's been there about 28 years, so he's going to celebrate that as well. But no, we kick it off and going to have Smoking Spoonful there with a bunch of meat smoking, and then we'll take money up for some raffles. We still have about 200 or 300 tickets to go, and then Saturday he's got a big to do, and then Father's Day's on Sunday. 50-cent wings. So there John's been a great partner, and he's going to. With our partnerships has even grown, especially with his catering company. So we're really looking forward to what the future has for us with John.
Absolutely. Hey, our Jasper Coca-Cola text line is open, 866-888-0744. We've got a busy next hour for you right here. This is the fastest 1 hour in all of Sports Talk Radio. I can guarantee you that. But we are excited to hear from you. So chime in, 866-888-0744. Again, the Professor Dave Garner alongside the refrigerator mover John Davis. Today, talking about a lot of different things. Of course, the Braves rained out last night. They got about an inning and a half in, so they will resume that game at 2 o'clock today. Pregame coverage right at 1:45 right here on the Sports Pig. So again, you can hear the continuation of that Braves game from last night. They are trailing 3-2. It was a rough start for Grant Holmes last night. Fortunately for the Braves, the rain did kick in. I hate it for the ticket holders. My son was one of them, but we had to get Grant Holmes out of there. I mean, so again, someone else will presumably take the bump today to continue out again that game from last night. And then, of course, the regularly scheduled game for tonight will be over on our sister station, and that one will start right on time, right around 7:15 or so. But again, we will have the continuation of the Braves game from last night today right here on the Sports Pig, on Sports Pig Radio, and on the app. And then tonight, it's the Georgia Bulldogs going at it against Oklahoma in the semifinals of the College World Series, 7 o'clock tonight. First pitch. So, again, tune in tonight to hear the Dogs. Now, they do have to beat Oklahoma twice. They'll have to beat them tonight and tomorrow to advance to the National Championship Series against either West Virginia or North Carolina. But nonetheless, man, you can catch all the action right here. A gutsy win last night by the Dogs. They only threw 2 pitchers, so they were trying to save as many arms as they could, but they were able to shut out the Longhorns and beat Texas for the second time over the last few days. And so they advanced against Oklahoma tonight in what really is the Final Four of the College Baseball World Series.
Yeah, and I will say this about the coach at Georgia. He's played it right because, the championship game, or not against us, but I've lost my train of thought now. Okay.
Well, that's good. That's because we were talking about that school to the east. That's why.
Well, I know. That's why I tried
exactly
to say
why.
something nice, and then I completely, lose my train of thought.
You couldn't think of anything nice to say. So there you go.
It won't be the last time, I promise.
Hey, that's all right, man. Hey, you know what? Dogs fans are even welcome. Well, they're allowed on Friday at Bradley's, but not welcome, right? Is that how that works?
There'll be a lot of them there.
There'll be a lot of Georgia. There'll be a lot of Georgia Tech. There'll be a lot of different fan bases represented on Fridays. So come one, come all, man. We want everybody there on Friday. But no, yeah, the Dogs, again, with their work cut out for them. Certainly. Meanwhile, again, as we talked about, the World Cup, man, how about Lionel Messi? Just when you think the guy's washed, I mean, he's the oldest player to record a hat trick in the World Cup. I believe he's 37 or 38 years old. So he's not terribly old, but in soccer terms, that's pretty old. And he also broke the all-time record. He's tied now for first all-time with World Cup goals as he passed Ronaldo yesterday. Now, Ronaldo plays today, so he may have an opportunity to, notch that one back up there. But, yeah, man, a lot going on last night at Arrowhead. Big showing there by Argentina as they beat Algeria 3-0.
I'm not saying that the lower listen to me, the lower schools, the lower countries in this aren't as sophisticated play-wise as some of these better soccer teams.
Right.
But when you're out there watching Argentina or Mexico or Norway, even Japan, some of these teams, you see the whole play develop from their side of the field, and then you just see it march it all the way down. And I think that's one of the reasons why I've enjoyed watching it so much the last few years is that you're always, in football, I'm always looking at the running backs and then going and progressing up to the offensive line,
right?
Just to try to get an understanding. And then some people do it the other way. I'm a little bit weird by doing it from the backs to the offensive linemen. But just like soccer, you see the play start down on their side of the field, and then you just start seeing where everybody goes in their position. And you talk about the precision kicks are just unbelievable.
Yeah.
So it's, that's the whole thing. That's what makes it so much fun. And also following Freddie.
My wife is a little now she's following it, but she's joking around because the thing about it is in soccer, we know the other night, we mentioned it. I mean, you had four matches and they were 0-0, 1-1, 1-1, and 2-2. Not a single winner. Now, yesterday we saw the superstars show up. Mbappe had multiple goals. Messi had multiple goals. Haaland from Norway had multiple goals. So, again, the superstars showed up yesterday as they were expected to do. But it's funny because it's the only sport where you can not score. You can come close to scoring, and you get just this huge applause of, like, oh, we almost scored, man. What an attack. And everybody's going crazy because you cheer the attacks because, hey, there's not a lot of scoring. And I know soccer is kind of meant to be that way because when it does happen, it's supposed to be, this big thing, And so it's just funny listening to her going, oh, my gosh, they kicked the ball around for 45 minutes and they almost scored. How exciting. So anyway,
hush, Liz.
We're having some fun there with it. But no, nonetheless, though, man, hey, man, we're World Cup fans in the house, so we're enjoying that. Busy program right here. Got a lot of other headlines to get to. Some of this stuff we'll get to later in the hour. The Aldon Smith news, of course, the former NFL player that passed away. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Also, NFL mandatory minicamp this week. Supplemental draft. What is a supplemental draft, man? I mean, there's a lot of things that we're going to try to answer for you right here on the program. And we'll also, try to to share some stories and things as we go throughout the day right here. But yeah, U.S. Open this week as well, by the way, at Shinnecock Golf Club. I know, John, they're trying to make the course a little tougher. They've grown out the rough a little bit. They were showing some videos yesterday of some guys in some practice rounds, like just intentionally throwing their ball in some of the worst places they possibly could, practicing getting out of some of that stuff.
Well, let me tell you this. If the wind blows, it's over.
Yeah.
And, because there's nothing out there to stop it. I think it's supposed to rain the first 2 days and then the sun be out over the weekend. But it's still – I looked at the winds, and it looked anywhere from 6 to 10 miles an hour. So they might get lucky. We'll talk about it later on. I think I might change my pick. I think 6 under might win it, but as I did some more reading last night and this morning, I'm like thinking, I'm not sure that's going to cut it.
Yeah. Well, we were talking yesterday.
A little high.
Yeah, a little high. We were talking yesterday with our golf expert, our golf insider, Billy D, right here on the Terrible Towel Tuesday, and the Rally Towel Tuesday, I guess I should say. And, we were talking about how they can make courses more difficult. I'm thinking, well, a course is a course, but not really. I mean, you can cut it differently. You can kind of widen the fairway, or you can shrink it in. And so it definitely looks like they're trying to make the course a little bit tougher than the other tournament that we saw earlier in the year that they played there that wasn't a major. But again, the U.S. Open, a lot of folks are excited about it. It is one of those things that, with all the other things going on in sports, as we've said, kind of getting overshadowed. But this is an opportunity for Scottie Scheffler, to kind of complete the Grand Slam. Rory McIlroy is never short of opinions. He's always in the news, as we know. You've got John Rahm and some different guys in there that are always kind of in the mix. So who's going to be in the mix this weekend? That's the big question.
I think a lot of it goes back to, if you look at the course and what I've been reading, again, Billy D knows a lot more than I do as far as that goes, but it seems like you're going to need somebody, and Dave, you and I have played enough golf to where, you want somebody, one, you got to hit it straight, because the fairways aren't wide, and two, I would think that the lower trajectory you have on the ball, the better chances of not making that many mistakes, because once you get into the rough, you're basically just trying to get back out to the fairway.
Right.
And then that doesn't even include getting the ball up to the green. So I'm excited. We're going to be watching it Friday, Bradley's, and come on out. And but no, I think it's going to be a great. Well, and plus on Dave, it's our weekend too, dude. It's Father's Day.
It's Father's Day, man. Yeah. So hey, we want to.
I just have to sit there and watch.
I want to invite, and I don't know if anyone out there is listening, but it is funny because when you check the analytics of this show, for whatever reason, there are people that listen from overseas. So if any of you that have been listening overseas happen to be in America, enjoying the World Cup, I'd love to see some World Cup fans show up to Bradley's. We're close enough to Atlanta. I mean, it's a short drive for the folks that are hanging out in Atlanta.
Yeah, today's a travel day for them. They're having fun.
They're having fun. So again, we want to see you guys showing up in your best garb. It doesn't have to be soccer-related stuff, but hey, man, wear your favorite jerseys. If you got a country you want to represent other than the United States, wear that jersey. I may try to throw on a jersey on Friday just for fun, just to change it up a little bit. My man, Big John's always got all that Georgia Tech stuff. I need to start investing in some gear. But yeah, maybe I'll throw on a Braves jersey or something over the weekend, or Atlanta United or something. But regardless, let's have some fun with it, man. It's Father's Day weekend, man. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, it is, and I doubt there's any soccer jerseys out there that'll fit me. If you got one somewhere, I'll be more than happy to wear it for you on Friday at the show.
Yeah,
but I played soccer. I think I was maybe 9 or 10, and I will say this: I was the best goalie at Sexton Woods, out, here in Chamblee, Georgia. So
man. Sometimes you got to eat up space. Down the road. You got to eat up space in front of the net. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they got 9 players. Okay, who's the biggest? And I'm like,
right, yeah. You go stand in front of the net over there and just knock everything away. True story, real quick before we hit our first break. I went on a mission trip years ago to Ghana over in Western Africa, and I did purchase. I do have a soccer jersey from their national team, which is, they call them the Ghana Black Stars. Like some teams like England is the 3 Lions. Of course, USA is kind of the Stars and Stripes. But Ghana goes by the Black Stars. And I actually have a Ghanaian national jersey. Now, the thing is, they never had any of my sizes and or anything. So I do have like this double XL. jersey that does hang off of me a little bit. But maybe I'll bring that thing and throw it at you and see if we can throw it on you. But yeah, there you go. Hey, thanks for being with us right here, man. Once again, that Jasper Coca-Cola text line is open today at 866-888-0744. Having fun right here on a Wingin' It Wednesday, presented by our friends at the Pub in Ellijay. $1 wings all day long. We'll be back at the Pub too over the next few weeks as well as we check in and enjoy those wings as well there in Ellijay. Hey, stay with us right here. The Sports Pig coming back at you right here in the Morning Rant on the home of ESPN Radio in North Georgia on the Sports Pig app and online at sportspigradio.com.
Make your home's air healthier. Green Heating and Cooling can help by installing a Bryant Evolution air purifier just for you. Using Captures and Kills technology, this highly advanced MERV15 filter captures many select airborne pathogens. It also helps improve indoor air quality for both asthma and allergy sufferers by filtering air impurities like dust, pollen, and pet dander. Call to schedule an evaluation. Green Heating and Cooling, your top Bryant authorized dealer, whatever it takes.
Big opinions of the big games from the big mouths.
Man, I think it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's the Morning Rant on WPGY, the Sports Pig, North Georgia's home for ESPN Radio.
Sit down.
Back here on a Wingin' It Wednesday. Again, Dave Garner alongside John Davis right here on the Morning Rant. Till 11 o'clock today. Chuck Oliver, the king of college football with Southern Sports Today, right at 11 here on Sports Pig Radio. I know he's going to talk a little bit more about the whole Brendan Sorsby situation and some of the things going on with college football. We're going to touch on some things here, too, in a few minutes. The new look Pac-12, again, what that looks like and how that might change the landscape of college athletics, particularly with football. So, again, we're going to talk about that in a moment as well. And, of course, all the latest news with Texas Tech. We were talking a little bit about the supplemental draft with Brendan Sorsby and exactly what that is, because there's a lot of people that are like, well, how is that different from the normal draft? So we're going to talk about that as well. Again, mental health is one of the things that we traditionally talk about right here on the show. It's kind of a continuing conversation because we do have the luxury of having a guy like John Davis, a former professional athlete, two-time All-American at Georgia Tech, former Buffalo Bill, former Gilmer High Bobcat, okay? And, he's admittedly brought it to the show right here. He's dealt with some things as well. So, again, we always talk a lot about mental health and kind of how that plays into today's athletic landscape. And then you've got a story that breaks out, Aldon Smith, again, a relatively younger player, that, again, is no longer with us anymore. And so there's a lot of talk right now about that whole situation, so we're going to bring that to the table as well. I do want to mention World Cup on Friday, by the way. We're going to be at Bradley's, and, John and I were just talking about, the vibe. We're going to be watching the U.S. Open, of course, coming up this weekend. But again, it's a situation where we're going to have soccer as well on Friday, 3 o'clock. All right, it's USA taking on Australia in the next leg of the World Cup. So there's going to be a lot of things going on Saturday. And Big John, I know I lost your video connection a second ago, but can you hear me? Are you there? All right, I'm not hearing you. Not hearing you right now, partner, so we'll keep trying there. Let me know when you feel like you can get that connection right there. There he is. I can see you a little bit now right there. So let's see here. It looks like your recording has stopped. So, again, Big John joining us remotely here today. We're trying to remote him back in. But, yeah, if you're there, man, just chime in whenever. But, yeah, man, Team USA taking on Australia Friday at 3 o'clock. So it is a holiday for a lot of people, as we talked about. And so not only do we hope to see you at Bradley's, but from wherever you may be, again, if you're able to get off work a little early that day and support Team USA, man, that's what it's all about. USA. So we're excited for the World Cup and excited for some soccer there on Friday. Hey, the Atlanta Braves, again, we are North Georgia's new home of the Atlanta Braves. Again, our first season as a Braves affiliate right here on the Sports Pig and on Sports Pig Radio. And sportspigradio.com. And, again, the Braves were washed out yesterday. All right, so they've got the game from last night, which was the opener against the Giants. They fell behind early 3-2, but what a return for Drake Baldwin. He comes back from injury, and his very first at bat at the very top of the lineup, he drills a 473-foot home run, basically to start the offense for Atlanta last night. What a return. It couldn't have come at a better time because the Braves, again, with Acuna now back out of the lineup again, those guys just kind of seem to be alternating in and out of the lineup. But again, Drake Baldwin comes back last night, hits the home run. However, a shaky start from Grant Holmes, who gave up 3 runs there in the first couple of innings. The game will resume this afternoon in the second inning with the Braves at bat. And again, 2 o'clock, the pregame, an abbreviated pregame right here at 1:45. So not long after we go off the air, and right after Chuck Oliver, we'll get into Rich Eisen. And then, again, we'll be back into Braves baseball this afternoon. And then tonight, as we mentioned, the Dogs, baby, College World Series out in Omaha, again, UGA at 7 o'clock tonight, live right here on the Sports Pig, taking on Oklahoma. John, you there? All right. I can see a little bit, but I can't hear you. So against,
I'm here if you got me.
Hey, there you go. I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Not around?
Yeah, there you go. I got you a little bit.
Yeah, I can't.
Yep. Well, you're kind of cutting in and out a little bit right there. I kind of hear you trying to poke through there. So we're continuing to work on that connection here with Big John and trying to get him back on the program right here with us. But, hey, a lot of stuff to talk about today. We talked about NASCAR. Again, Denny Hamlin on a tear right now. He's won 3 in a row. He won at Pocono over the weekend. This weekend, an interesting race right here, man. San Diego, it's a newer track. And, a situation right now where, again, the guys are kind of moving into the summer. They're getting about halfway through the NASCAR Cup schedule, and a lot of things going on. I know they're going to be calling the race. The broadcast is going to be from an aircraft carrier this weekend. And so, again, looking forward to seeing more NASCAR. Here is points leader Tyler Reddick on the race this weekend and what we can expect.
Yeah, I think it'll be, it'll have the look in some ways of what we had at Chicago. There's definitely some areas of the track that are more flowy that are going to be straight up passing opportunities or conventional passing opportunities. All that stuff will really come to reality, I guess, and just become more clear once we actually get there and run some laps around each other on the racetrack.
Yeah, so again, looking forward to it this weekend at San Diego. A little bit different look there, certainly for NASCAR out there. Again, the Red Clay Rundown right here on the Sports Pig, on sportspigradio.com and on the app as well. Again, the Red Clay Rundown with Steve Newbold and Will Rigdon right here, Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, 30 minutes prior to our Braves pregame coverage whenever the Braves are playing. So again, you can catch that show throughout the week in spots right here on the Sports Pig app and online at sportspigradio.com. Again, Steve and Will bring you through not only the dirt track racing, certainly here in North Georgia, which is the focus and feature of the show, throwing a few NASCAR tidbits here and there as well. But again, we got your racing covered right here on the program. Thanks for being with us right here on this Wingin' It Wednesday, presented by your friends at the Pub in LJ. And just a reminder to visit us on social media. The Sports Pig is on Facebook. Our show, The Morning Rant, is on Instagram. You can also catch full video episodes of the show on YouTube. The podcast version of The Morning Rant is also available on our website, sportspigradio.com, and wherever you listen to your favorite daily podcast on both Apple and Android platforms, including Spotify and Podbeam. You can also catch me on Twitter at DaveGarner777. He's at JohnDavis_65, and this is The Morning Rant. Once again, our Jasper Coca-Cola text line is open at 866-888-0744. And we had a texter just text us in right here and say, hey, I saw one of the soccer teams are making Greenville, North Carolina home base. Is that normal for the teams to pick a smaller city and set up a home base for the Cup? A lot of that is set up, of course, by FIFA and, of course, the organizing committees here in the United States as they kind of coordinate. But a lot of it is to try to keep the folks out of the larger cities to minimize the distractions. For example, Team Spain, their base camp was set up around Chattanooga. That's why we saw the young teenage sensation Lamine Yamal randomly walking through a Fort Oglethorpe Walmart and went walking through there unnoticed, undiscovered, man. Nobody even recognized him. And he's one of the biggest players, biggest well-known players in the world there. But, yeah, it is common for a lot of the teams to relocate to some smaller cities to try to avoid the distractions, try to minimize the crowd, because you got to understand something, people, all right? Soccer, the fan base, mean, you see it. I mean, the Europeans are coming here. They are taking over our towns, man. It's awesome to see because they're not doing anything crazy, at least yet, maybe until they win. But it's a lot of fun, man. The fandom has been awesome. But you can only imagine if you're Lionel Messi or you're, Ronaldo or you're Mbappe or you're, one of these players, you're going to have crowds of people following you. So the more rural you can get, the better off you're going to be. So again, definitely it's an opportunity, I think, as well for a lot of the smaller towns that, the mid-sized towns outside of the larger hubs to have a chance to kind of see some of these teams kind of close up and personal. And from an economic standpoint, what that means for a lot of these towns like the Greenvilles, of the world is, man, you're going to bring some attention to that town. You're still going to have people showing up, right? Regardless of whether they have access to the team or not. So again, a lot of fun, man, seeing some of these teams, some of these countries, if you will, set up in some of these smaller base camps outside of the major cities. Big John, man, we've been working on you right there. You back, buddy?
I guess.
Hey, there you go, man. I can hear you. I can hear you, man. So you're back. You are back.
Sorry about that.
Hey, you're good, man. It's all good right here. We are up against our second break here in a moment, but glad to have you back on, partner. You haven't missed much, man. We've been teasing a few things. We did have a response there on our Jasper Coca-Cola text line. Once again, 866-888-0744. Now that we got my man, the refrigerator mover, back, we are going to chop up some football news on the other side of the break when we come back. Again, the new look Pac-12, more on the Aldon Smith situation, and, of course, the supplemental draft and NFL mandatory minicamps, that and much more still ahead right here on the fastest 1 hour and all of Sports Talk Radio. It's the Morning Rant here on the home of ESPN Radio in North Georgia on the Sports Pig app and online at sportspigradio.com.
Welcome to your hometown pub. Open 7 days a week, the Pub in J is your happy hour hangout. They offer a variety of dishes to satisfy every palate, and their friendly staff is here to ensure a wonderful time. Join them for daily happy hour specials Monday through Thursday. And don't forget, every Wednesday is Wing Wednesday with $1 wings all day long. Located at 941 Maddox Drive in East J. Open Sunday through Wednesday till midnight, Thursday through Saturday till 2 a.m. The Pub in J, where every visit feels like home. We bring the heat. You bring the trash talk.
Come on, man. Are you serious?
It's the Morning Rant, live on the Sports Pig app and sportspigradio.com.
Back here on a Wingin' It Wednesday. Again, the Morning Rant with Dave Garner and John Davis. Thanks for joining us here on this Wednesday afternoon. The Pub in LJ going to be popping off tonight till midnight with $1 wings, man. Go up there and say hi to all our friends. Keegan, man, working the bar there, man. And they got a place in Blue Ridge as well. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on, too. We're going to be hanging out up there as well. So, again, a lot of different places to get to over these next, few weeks or so leading up to football season. And speaking of, we got a lot of conversation this morning that I want to get to because I've got Big John here. And whenever we got a guy that's a two-time All-American and a former professional football player, we like to talk football, right? It only makes sense. How about, John, that we got you back here, man. How about that new look Pac-12? Again, some new teams kind of coming into the fold, some of the former Mountain West teams moving out. The Pac-12 still I guess somewhat relevant, satisfying the minimum requirement of having 8 football-playing schools in order to keep a conference alive in the NCAA at that level. They do just that, and they also pick up Gonzaga as a basketball school as well. But, yeah, man, college football, the landscape not only of the rules but also geography continues to change as well.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, taking a look at it, I'm having a feeling that this is going to be a fast tempo league.
Yeah. Right, yeah, exactly. And again,
so,
yeah.
So we'll wait and see. It's definitely – sorry about that.
Yep, I think you got a little echo there maybe. Yep, uh-oh. Yeah, let me take you out there for just a moment. So, again, yeah, some audio problems there, a little bit of connection issues going on there today with Big John there, and we'll try to get him back again here in just a moment. Can you hear me now? Still waiting to hear back, I guess, on Big John. I can see him, but he can't hear me right now. So, yeah, new look Pac-12 going on right now. Again, some of the new teams that are in the conference that we were talking about, you've got Boise State, again, in there, Colorado State, Fresno State, basically all the states, Washington State, in there, Oregon State. Washington State and Oregon State were the two holdovers, by the way. San Diego State, you've got Texas State also joining the conference. They jumped as well from their previous stint there in the, I believe, the Sun Belt, and then you also pick up Gonzaga. So, again, a new look, a new Pac-12 rolling in as well as things to continue to change up there. Meanwhile, a former Big 12 school in Texas Tech, again, has been in the news a lot lately, as we all know, over the whole Brendan Sorsby situation. And, again, Big John, we had some different comments about that as well. You look like you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, no, I can hear you fine if I'm ready to go.
I can hear you a little bit. Yeah, go for it.
A little bit of a tape delay.
Yeah, go for it, partner. Yeah, Texas Tech, though, again, yeah.
Going with Texas Tech. I think that they knew exactly what was going to happen to them. They were just playing to get fan sentiment to see how bad they were going to be depicted, I guess, if they let a big-time gambler play for them. And I think, the Oklahoma AG just stepped right in and settled it all. I think Sorsby did the right thing going into the supplemental draft. So we'll see what happens. Texas Tech will be strengthened for a quarterback coming up.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be interesting to see what all happens there and what all goes down, obviously, with Texas Tech, as we talked about, Sorsby going to the supplemental draft. So it's going to eventually kind of become a little bit of a non-story to a certain extent from a Sorsby standpoint because he is going into the supplemental draft. And you and I were kind of joking around about, a lot of people don't even realize what a supplemental draft is. It's basically where a team can, and I'll kind of let you kind of mention it as well, but basically where you can kind of take some picks from the regular draft and you can grab some guys maybe a little bit earlier that lost their college eligibility after the draft, which is what's happened. So you got a guy like Sorsby who says, you know what? There's a lot of stuff going on right here. I'm going to go ahead and come on out for the NFL anyway, even though the draft's already happened. So it's kind of an extra draft that allows some of those players that maybe weren't eligible for the draft to now be eligible after the fact for teams to be able to go and pick up.
Yeah, no, I think it's a sympathy draft is what it is. I think.
Oh, I like that, yeah.
They come out. They talk about the disciplinary reasons, petition to supplemental draft entry. It's basically for just like you said. It's basically that they wanted to be drafted, but they weren't sure of where they would go, and so they just kind of held out, and then they came up for the supplemental draft just in case that they did not get an extra year of eligibility. So
right.
I think the last one was in 2019. The Arizona Cardinals used fifth rounder. Now, if you use that fifth rounder in 2026, you lose that fifth rounder for 2027.
Right. Yeah.
So it will, so you don't really hear about it that much, but I can understand why. So it fits perfectly for Sorsby, and we'll just wait and see what he does. I think going back to the Texas Tech thing, it was I think it became more of a black eye now on the conference than it was more so Texas Tech, even though that was the underlying reason. And I wanted to get back, Dave, because I think I was a little bit the NFL Players Association and the NBA Players Association. They have all agreed with what Nick Saban and Ted Cruz and them are trying to do right now in Congress. So that is positive to have these other sports on board to be able to be at least a part of it and in the conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, a lot of things going on with college athletics, as we know. Nick Saban coming to the table. Others have also spoken up. We mentioned Dion on Monday. Different folks starting to chime in a little bit more as things continue to take shape. And so it'll be an ongoing discussion as we work our way closer to football season. Meanwhile, NFL mandatory minicamp is this week for a lot of the teams. It'll be interesting to see with the supplemental draft who will take a guy like Brendan Sorsby. And a lot of that may depend on what these teams learn about themselves during minicamp this week, right? I mean, as far as, hey, where do we look like maybe our strengths are at, maybe some of our weaknesses. These teams, to use a business term, a lot of them use the SWOT analysis, type techniques to find out their strengths and weaknesses, their opportunities, their threat, what have you. And so it'll be interesting to see which team steps forward, maybe considers a guy like a Brendan Sorsby a good fit,
Well, and then you're also going to have to remember, Dave, his package is coming with him. He ain't coming, ended.
Right.
So, there's the college. If it hasn't changed, college isn't anything like the NFL is going to be when it comes to gambling.
Right.
Now, okay, let me preface that by saying I'm talking about football. I'm not talking about professional sports. I think it is a little bit more in hand with the NFL than it would be, say, basketball or even baseball or some of those other sports. But football, I think, and I'm not fooling myself or anybody else. I'm just saying that it seems like it's you can pretty much see it a little bit clearer than you can maybe some of these other sports that these guys are gambling and what they have on the game. And, word gets around because Timmy Two Toes wants to make sure that he gets paid, come Monday morning after Sunday's parlays.
Yeah, exactly. So, definitely an ongoing discussion right here. And, the whole gambling thing, I mean, it's not new. I mean, it's been around forever. Look at Pete Rose. I mean, look at all the different situations there. So a lot of people are like, and then to be able to say, well, I didn't know, or no, there's no excuse to not know, or what have you, or to try to play victim. Brendan Sorsby is not a victim. All right. Let's just go ahead and say that first of all. But again, you don't necessarily want to see the young man, ruin his entire life or career over this. I mean, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve a chance, but to your point, if you're an NFL executive or if you're a GM, I mean, you're right. Sorsby is going to be bringing some of this over with him. And gambling's still gambling. Even if you're a professional, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not an addiction. Even though it's legal, it doesn't mean it's not an addiction, right? It's still going to have to be addressed.
No, you're exactly right. There's two things that I want to bring up. One, gambling is not a rich man's sport anymore.
Yeah.
We've seen it just completely destroy lives and ruin every fiber of that person. I have seen it. We have been given stories when we played in the NFL. And so it's not a rich man's sport anymore. Sorsby right out the gate is going to be liability. Okay, and that's just the way it's going to be labeled. And you're just going to have to sit back as a GM and going to say, how can I limit the liability with this team until I can figure out, okay, he's got to get into gambling rehab. He's got to get on a strict workout. He's got to be in the meetings, the team rooms, the position play rooms, and he's got to show me morally, physically he'll come, but he's got to show me morally that he is working on trying to get better, because as you know this, Dave, you never are healed. I mean, it's always in your life. And it goes back to the mental health. You just don't go to see someone 4 times and then say, oh, you know what? I'm a new man. Guess what? It does not work that way.
Right.
And so a team's going to be very weary, and it might be. Apparently, he's a great quarterback. I'm not.
Right.
I don't know, because I don't really, or haven't really heard about him. But if somebody's going to take a 6th or 7th rounder, I guess it would be an opportunity to. And every coach, Dave, and you know this as a sports guy, every coach, and I know I'm all over the place, but every coach or every GM or every president thinks that they can reform that player.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. I'm the one. I'm the one that can make him better. And so maybe the team who does that will have a great challenge on their hands and be successful.
There you go. You never know. And meanwhile, on another level, James Pierce Jr. in minicamp for the Atlanta Falcons out in Flowery Branch. The first return for him to Falcons headquarters since everything went down with his arrest in the offseason, all those things. As you talk about, John, this time of year you pay more attention to the police blotter than you do what's happening on field. But again, teams are in minicamp mode this week, and we'll talk more about that as we get more out of Flowery Branch coming up next week right here on the program as well. But yeah, again, a lot of things going on, particularly in the NFL right now. And when we come back in our final segment, we're going to dive into the whole Aldon Smith thing a little bit more and kind of go down that mental healthness road and a couple other news and notes that we haven't gotten to yet here in this hour. We'll do that here after our final break right here on this Wingin' It Wednesday edition of the Morning Rant presented by your friends at the Pub in LJ. Stay with us right here on the home of ESPN Radio in North Georgia. That's the Sports Pig app and online at sportspigradio.com.
Financial scams are on the rise, and with AI, they're getting more and more sophisticated every day. If someone pressures you to act quickly, ask for secrecy, or request payment through gift cards, wire transfers, or cryptocurrency, stop. Legitimate financial professionals don't rush you or demand unusual payment methods. Before you send money or share personal information, slow down and verify. Protect your future. When in doubt, ask questions.
If you're suspicious of a scam, call the team at Foundation Wealth today at 706-278-0214.
Morning Grind with Pork Rinds.
Welcome to the show.
It's the Morning Rant, weekday mornings from 10 to 11 on 98.1, 93.7, and 101.1 on the H2 dial. WPGY, the Sports Pig.
Hanging out here on a Wingin' It Wednesday with my man John Davis, Dave Garner with you till 11 o'clock right here. Again, Chuck Oliver with Southern Sports Today, the king of college football. Visit us on social media. Again, the Sports Pig, as always, is on Facebook. Our show with clips on Instagram and also on YouTube as well. Again, our show uploaded daily on our website, sportspigradio.com, the podcast version, wherever you get your favorite daily podcast on all Apple and Android platforms. Again, you can interact with us on social media. On Twitter, I'm at DaveGarner777. He's at JohnDavis_65, and this is the Morning Rant. So we've covered a lot of ground here for the first three segments, of the program. Our Jasper Coca-Cola text line is still open, 866-888-0744. And, John, I wanted to get in because one of the things you and I talk a lot about is, mental health and different things like that. And we hear this story about, Aldon Smith gone way too soon. Again, brain currently being checked for CTE because we know that's been a big issue, particularly with, former NFL athletes. And so it'll be interesting to see kind of what comes out of that. Again, Aldon Smith, a guy whose career, was not without off-field trouble, but at the same time, a guy who certainly made an impact on the field there, and you just got to wonder, man, what happened,
Yeah, no. Are we good? Can you
I got you a little bit. Yep, go for it.
Okay. So we're looking here at Aldon. You have to wonder. I looked about the second or third year of his career, Dave, 33 and a half sacks, 56 quarterback hits in his first 2 years of his career. And then after that, he started sliding a little bit, and we're trying to figure out what happened.
Yeah.
Now, realize when you retire, and they might do it with the players right now, but they set a baseline for us. We go into a neurologist office and have all these tests. It takes about 4 or 5 hours to do. Pretty extensive and intense. But that, I mean, it's for our well-being. So we're going to sit there and, if something happens to me and I go to the hospital and get hit on the head, they're going to be able to call up to Boston University and get my baseline to where they have something to work against.
Yeah.
Something happened to Aldon. I don't know if it was money. I don't know if it was fame. I don't know if he was just troubled. He just didn't have anybody to talk to. But, man, what a sad career. And, I say sad career. What a sad ending to a promising career, because I remember him at Missouri and how good he was there. And for him to have breakout league, those numbers right there, the first years, I find hard-pressed anybody else had numbers like that in the last 50 years.
Yeah. You're just 36 years old, by the way, too, Aldon Smith. again gone. And so it's it's one of those things that kind of leads us down that conversation that we like to have right here on the program, because we have the benefit of having someone like yourself that's been very open about situations like that. There's so many different players, though, because I think that whether you've had issues or not, and thankfully you've had a clean, scan and all those things like you talk about, but there are a lot of people that just don't seek the help, and so I think that, and not to steal your platform, because I know that you're one of those people that really encourages people, hey, go see somebody, seek the help, do whatever you need to do, and to try to help that process along.
Well, the thing about my family is I've got we communicate. I just don't listen. So it's so we try to they've been saying it for years that I needed to do this and go and see someone, and I did, and honestly, it has really helped out meeting with Megan. But it's something that I fought against for years. And I think now that I'm doing it, I'm having a much better relationship with my family, as far as not getting off track, as not getting upset or tensed up and everything, because I want things to happen a certain way. And believe it or not, that goes a long way, because my kids have told me, we know who you are and we know how you are, but you've got to realize you're 6'4", 6'5", 350 pounds. You're this huge towering figure. You're still intimidating. So, and I don't even think of it as that way, as being this larger than life person, but I can understand where they're coming from. And, thank goodness they've got a lot of grace for me, and they stick behind me, and it's not perfect, but it's going well.
It's going well, man.
We got to get these people, and there's a guy, Dave, that we're going to meet that's going to be on our show. He played football for Bill Curry down at Georgia State, and so we're going to get with him. But this is his lifelong goal, is to be able to go out and hit people and spread the word. And he's got some things coming up in the fall that I hope that we can participate in as well. But it just leads up to, it's not a monthly issue anymore. It's an everyday issue. And I promise you, and I don't like for it to happen, Dave, and I know you and I kid, because we're like, look at the police blotter at the end of the year, and then look at the police blotter before you go into training camp. It's like that with every sport, believe it or not. It's just, I know I'm picking on football, but we've got to continue to have things in place to where these younger guys, this is a lot of money, for these younger kids. And now that you've gotten into college, you've got to have things in place for these kids from a maturity level of how they're going to handle this, because now you're putting millions of dollars, not in 23-year-old hands, but you're putting in 18-year-old hands.
Right.
And Dave, think this: what if you grew up with nothing?
Yeah.
And you don't have any mentor or anybody that's smart enough to help you. And I'm sorry, but that's a lot of cases out there.
Yeah.
And so there's just so many things that need to be worked on. And I'm sure that things are getting worked on, but we just got to continue to stay on top of it. These things with Aldon Smith can't happen. We've got to figure it out somehow.
Yeah, I agree with you. What do you think? Jasper Coca-Cola text line open 866-888-0744. That's 0PIG, 0PIG. Right here, we want to hear from you guys as well. Again, talking about a lot of different stuff here today. Some serious stuff, certainly, here in the back half of the show there, as another former professional football player has lost his life tragically. And again, it's one of those things at 36 years old, man, you start thinking about it. It's like, man, these things can't happen. So again, we talk a lot about the mental health aspect of athletics, not just at the professional level, but really at all levels. And it's one of those things that always seems to kind of come back around as we continue that discussion right here on the program. So,
well, Dave, if I can say this, and I'm not, listen, I feel sorry for him and I feel sorry for his family, but is there a problem out there that's so bad that you can't come and talk to someone?
Right.
Is that the last end or line of defense? Is that it's so bad that you can't even talk to somebody? That us as a society or a teammate or a coach, really missed something.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of times that I have seen, even with our kids, and you've seen this as well, when something goes wrong, they want to talk. They just they don't know how to do it.
Right, yeah.
And so, it's us that we need to see these signs and to prevent these things from happening.
Absolutely. Again, a continuing conversation we'll have right here on the Morning Rant as we continue to work our way through. Hey, tomorrow during our Tailgate Thursday edition of the program, we'll have our Tomahawk Take. Our Golden Boy, Will Cooper, joining us right here on the program as we chop up some Braves. We'll also have our Hang It in the Lou favorite moments from the world of sports and our high school prep rally segment, as well as we dive into some of our area high schools and talk about some summer things that are going on as far as camps and so forth. And again, the Cooper predictor and right in time maybe for a little bit of golf as the U.S. Open comes up here. We've covered a lot of ground this morning right here. John, I did want to bring up one more thing. I know that we talked a little bit about the Braves, of course. They'll be back at it here today. Apparently, there were some players from the Giants who are in town playing the Braves right now that had gotten reprimanded for putting a Bible verse on their hat. I don't want to get too political right here, but again, there's a lot of different stuff in sports right now. We talk about it with all the Pride Nights and all the different things and all the different theme things and things like that. But, again, not wanting to get political, but kind of want to stay there towards the end of the show a little bit and kind of just get your thoughts on some of the things that are going on with some of these different, themes. And kind of it just seems like in a lot of ways, without being political, there are just a lot of double standards. I mean, even both ways.
Yeah, you're taking one liberty away for an ideology. Listen, I have no problem with the LGBT community. I think it's great. They have their group, and I support them. But stop pushing it on the professional sports. And I completely blame the commissioner saying that he's going to reprimand if you put Bible verses on your hat. But it's just gotten to the point to where let's get back to baseball. I forget, I was reading the other day, I said, bring back the seventh inning stretch, the songs that you play during the game and everything. And, there's a specific time to celebrate these different organizations that without having to bring it into the baseball stadium. Because I will tell you this, out of a stadium, 50,000, chances are 48,000 are not going to be for it.
Right, yeah.
So I'm just, it's affecting a very few out there, and you just can't continue to push something on people that is just not going to work. And the owner and the commissioner has done that. I look to see lawsuits if the players do get reprimanded because he's trampling on our rights.
Yeah.
And I'll leave it at that. And Dave, you and I have always said we're not going to talk politics or anything like that unless it interjects into the sport. And that is minute. I think it is something that you ought to bring up because someone is a professional athlete or an ex-athlete. I don't want stuff like that shoved on me. I want to go out and play football and entertain the fans, and I think that's what a lot of these players want to do as well.
Right, there you go. Again, hot takes, hot mics right here from Big John Davis on a Wingin' It Wednesday, man. Appreciate you guys being with us right here on the program. Hey, we're almost out of time right here. Just a couple minutes left. Kind of recap again, Braves going at it today. The continuation of the rained-out game from last night will resume today. Our pregame coverage starts at 1:45, so we'll be hijacking a little bit of the Rich Eisen program this afternoon right here on Sports Pig Radio to bring you the Braves game. And then later tonight, it's the Dogs in Omaha taking on, again, Oklahoma. That's a 7 o'clock first pitch tonight. You can hear it all right here on the home of ESPN Radio in North Georgia. That is the Sports Pig on the app and online at sportspigradio.com. Again, we talked a little bit about, high school, the power rankings. We'll have more of that tomorrow. Mandatory mini camp. James Pierce back in camp for the Falcons. We'll have up more on that tomorrow as well. FIFA World Cup, man, a whole slate of matches again going on here today. It's great to see the countries and the cultures come together the way they have. I mean, watching the Mexicans hanging out with the Koreans the other day and all the social media videos was absolutely gold, man. Just, just fun.
It's awesome. Yeah, no, we got a big slate of games today. I've got lunch with someone, so I got to get back home and be able to watch them and get ready for Friday. But no, yeah, so it's going to be a great day, and I'll sign off for now. But just remember, do a buddy check. Go out and see somebody that you might not have seen in a couple of days or a week or so, and do a buddy check to make sure everybody's okay.
I love it. I love it. Again, Big John Davis right here on the Morning Rant. That is going to wrap things up for us here today. We appreciate you guys being with us. We also appreciate our friends at the pub in LJ. They've got $1 wings all day long today. They're open till midnight. They're open till 2 a.m. over the weekend, by the way. So get on up to LJ if you hadn't been there and check out the pub off of Maddox Drive right there in LJ. Behind the McDonald's there in the shopping center. Again, our Wingin' It Wednesday edition of the program brought to you by the folks at the pub. Tomorrow, as we mentioned, Tailgate Thursday. Chuck Oliver up next with Southern Sports Today, the king of college football. And we appreciate Chuck being on with us here as well. Again, you've been listening to the Morning Rant right here on the home of ESPN Radio in North Georgia on the Sports Pig app and online at sportspigradio.com. As always, we end every episode by saying, if you don't know, you better ask somebody. Again, visit us on social media, the Sports Pig on Facebook, the Morning Rant on Instagram, and also full video episodes on YouTube. Podcast version of the Morning Rant available on our website, sportspigradio.com, and wherever you listen to your favorite daily podcast on both Apple and Android platforms, including Spotify and Podbean. Once again, I'm on Twitter, Dave Garner777. He's John Davis _65, and this is the Morning Rant. We'll see you tomorrow morning.
When you get hurt from an accident, it can feel like no one is listening to you. The insurance company talks over you. The bills keep coming. It's like the pain and inconvenience doesn't even matter to them. But your story does matter. And here at Geiger Legal, we will make sure your story is heard loud and clear. My name is Casey Geiger, and my firm stands up for people who have been wronged through someone else's negligence. Let us tell your story. Let us get the justice you deserve, and let's start today.
Call Geiger Legal Group at 833-HELP-GLG. That's 833-HELP-GLG, and let us tell your story today.